Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to talk to you about all the books that I've rated 5 stars on Goodreads this year so far. For a little context, if you're just stumbling upon this video, I'm not really too picky. I give 5 stars fairly easily. I think I've been a little more picky with my reads this year because I just read so many good ones last year. So I've got 7 books to talk to you about today. So not all of these are full 5 stars, but if they've been rounded up to 5 stars for Goodreads or something like that, I'm going to talk to you about them. So without further ado, let's just hop into the video. So the first book that I want to talk to you about is Heartless Sky by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This is the 7th book in the Zodiac Academy series. I absolutely loved this book. It had everything that I was looking for in the Zodiac Academy books. I'm really glad that by the time I read this, the 8th one had already come out because the cliffhanger that this one leaves you on is insane. I can see why, I am one of those people that absolutely love Zodiac Academy. I understand why some people don't, but for me it's like such a comfort, angsty, it's just a lot of fun. The series, I think that as long as you're not taking anything too seriously, then it's going to be really fun for you to read. It's not the best written book, but the characters are hilarious. You just fall in love with the world. So I definitely recommend the series if you haven't already. I'm not going to talk about the plot for this one because obviously it is a continuing series, so I don't want to spoil anything, but just know that this one is a wild ride. The next book that I gave 5 stars was Juniper Hill, which is the 2nd book in the Eden series by Daphne Perry. Oh my god, this book is so good. There's a reason why it gets all the hype that it does. It is single parent. I usually prefer single dad romances, but this is a single mom and I still absolutely loved it. I think Daphne Perry writes the best romantic suspense elements to books that I've read, and I just love that because there's a romantic suspense element, there's never like a miscommunication trope at the end. There's never a third act breakup because of that, at least from the books I've read. I've only read the first 2. I do have plans to read the 3rd and 4th, but I haven't read them yet. This book follows Memphis and Knox. Memphis is a single mom who moves across the country from New York City to Quincy, Montana with her newborn son to work as a housekeeper at the Eloise Inn, which is owned by the Edens. And since she's like on a tight budget because of moving, she has a really hard time finding a place to stay, and so Eloise, the daughter who runs the inn, basically forces Knox to let Memphis stay in his guest little house that's above the garage. At first he's really grumpy about it, and because her baby is like crying at all hours of the night, but he quickly, and there's some backstory to him as to why he's not happy about having a child near him. But Memphis quickly grows on him, and he is a chef, so he's constantly bringing her food, and it's just really cute. There's a lot of backstory that you get from both of these characters. They end up trusting each other so well. It's just, I don't even know how to describe this other than like, it's so cute, and you can just feel their love in the pages, and it's adorable. I definitely recommend. There's a reason why this series is so hyped up. It's very good. Very well done. Next book that I gave 5 stars was Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead. This is the 4th book in the Vampire Academy series. This series is actually a reread for me from back in high school. I haven't read it in years since high school, and I just love this series. Rose and Dimitri are like one of my all-time favorite book couples. I love Dimitri. I love Rose. She's such a badass. This book in particular is full of angst and pining, and I eat it up. If you're reading this book, I think this is a lot of people's actually least favorite book of this series because it's in some ways a filler book. Not too much happens, but you get a lot of backstory for the characters, and you can really just see their love shining through the pages, in my opinion. So that's why it's one of my favorite of the whole series. Obviously, the last book is amazing as well, but I haven't gotten there on my reread yet, so I'm hoping that I love it as much as I remember loving it. This series is great. I know it's it's an older series, so you might not have not want to pick it up, but I really recommend reading it if you haven't already. It's so good. I love it. The next book that I gave 5 stars was The Love Match by Priyanka Taslim. This is actually a new release from this year. It released January 3rd, and I ate this up. I listened to it on audio and I listened to it in, I think, just one day. I just basically like did everything I could to just keep listening to it. I did not want to sit down to read it all. I just wanted to keep listening to it. So I played with Kevin with listening to it. I just loved it. I ate it up. I think this is an unpopular opinion, but I think love triangles are probably one of my favorite tropes, and I know that's probably it's a lot of people's least favorite trope, but I love it. I love the angst and tension that love triangles create. So if you also like love triangles, you'll probably also love this book. And also it's just such a like nice story because it is YA, so there is a lot of like, I think there's a lot of character development in the female main character. Just sort of like see her really mature throughout the book. It's not that long of a book, but I feel like it really packed a lot into it. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this because it's a great one. So the synopsis for The Love Match is that basically Zara is a like Bangladeshi royalty. She's a princess, but they live in the States now, and so they don't have that family wealth that they had back in Bangladesh. So Zara is working as a server at her friend's tea house and saving up so that she can go to college because they really do not have much money. Okay, so she's trying to save up, and her mom is convinced that all she needs to do is find a good love match or a good match, and so they meet this other family that is very wealthy at a wedding, and they basically try and set up Zara and Haroon because the one family likes that they come from a royalty background, and the other is a newer family, but they are wealthy. So like they think it's a good match and they try to set them up. But Zara and Haroon are definitely not interested, so they try to sabotage their match along like their dates along the way and try to show that they're really not a good match. Meanwhile, Zara is really crushing on the dishwasher at the tea shop that she works at. But as like they date, Zara is getting confused about her feelings. She's not sure who she likes at the end of this. And it's so angsty. It's so good. The next book I gave 5 stars was Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. I love Christina Lauren. They're one of my like go-to auto-buy authors. But I always find it's the books that they write that are like the least liked or the least well known are the ones that are always my favorites. I don't know why, but I love their like less known stuff. Like in comparison to a lot of the other books they've written, this one really doesn't have that many ratings, and it actually has a pretty low rating on Goodreads, but I ate it up. Again, I listened to this on audio and I did not want to put it down. I think I listened to it in like 2 days because I was just addicted to reading it. It's full of angst. It's a second chance romance. The like tension between the 2 main characters throughout it is so good. So this book follows Sam and Tate. Tate is the daughter of a really well-known actor, and it's very secret. The press and nobody knows her identity because she changed her last name to her mother's maiden name in order to get away from the press. And she meets Sam on a trip abroad with her grandmother, and he's traveling with his grandfather, and they basically like have this whirlwind romance, and she tells him her secret because she's been wanting to tell someone for so long and she feels like she can trust him. So she tells Sam that she is the daughter of this well-known actor, and they end up sleeping together. But then the next day she finds Sam's being all aloof. Then paparazzi and everything are outside her hotel because it got leaked to the press that she is the daughter of this well-known actor, this like long lost daughter kind of thing. And so she like immediately is so hurt because she thinks that Sam has betrayed her. And now years later, Tate is an up and coming actress, and she's getting her like big break on this movie set, and she finds out the movie producer or the writer of the screenplay is actually Sam. So they need to work together and create this film, and the longer they work together, the more the old feelings come up, but like the angst, like I said, the angst, the tension between them, so good. If you haven't picked this one up but you love Percy and Lauren, try this one out. The next book that I gave 5 stars was Weird Science by Penny Reid. This is the 3rd book in the Winston Brothers series. This one is so good. I really recommend reading this series in order, but they can be read as standalones. This one is the story of Cletus Winston. He is the oldest Winston brother, I'm pretty sure, and he is like, you really get to know his personality in the first 2 books, so that when you finally get to this book, I was really excited about it because he was probably like my favorite character of the brothers in the previous 2 books, so I was really excited to get his love story. The female main character in this one is Jennifer, who is this like very much good girl. She is the banana queen in their little town because she's a baker, and she bakes this banana cake that everyone absolutely loves. She has a social media presence that her mom controls, and her parents are very controlling. Like, so she's like this, like a good girl who does exactly everything that her parents tell her to do. She dresses how her parents tell her to dress, and basically Cletus is helping her become her own person. He slowly lets her decide things about herself that she wants to change, but it's got to be something that actually she wants. So she starts off slowly, like painting her fingernails a different color, and her parents are shocked. She's sort of blackmailing him into helping her because she just is desperate for help because she doesn't know how to get out of her parents' clutches without making them angry, and she just really needs a helping hand. And as they spend more time together, they start falling for each other. Penny Reid's books are so funny. I love Cletus so much that like it didn't matter what story it was, I think I was gonna love it regardless. But I also really liked Jennifer. Her character development over the book was really well done, and she just really grips your heart. She's such a sweetheart. So I really like this series. I really particularly like this book, and I will definitely be continuing on with this series, so maybe there'll be more 5-star books in the future. Okay, and last but not least is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This is the 1st book in the Last Hours trilogy, and I love Cassandra Clare's book. This is a reread for me. This is actually like my 3rd time rereading this because the 3rd book just came out, so I'm doing a reread of the first 2, and I also had done a reread when the 2nd one came out, so this is like my 3rd time reading it, and I just love the old London setting that Cassandra Clare writes. Like the Infernal Device series, also one of my favorites of hers. I love the Shadowhunter world in general, but especially these ones that take place in like old school London. They're just so much fun, and Cassandra Clare really does a good job at writing character-driven stories, and they're just really nostalgic for me. So like as soon as I read one, it's almost an automatic 5 stars for me because of the nostalgic factor, just like the Vampire Academy books. So I absolutely loved it. I'm really excited to continue on with the series. I imagine the 2nd and 3rd one will probably also be 5-star books. So when I film for the 2nd quarter of the year. All the 5-star books I read in the second quarter, those ones will probably be on there. And those are the 7 books that I rated 5 stars on Goodreads so far this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what book one of your favorite books you've read this year is. Subscribe if you're not already, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.